Guys, it is Friday, January 7th, 2022, and I'm talking about the positives for the start of this week's positive vibes. My Disney Plus is renewed for another month, so I have it now until about February 7th, as far as I know. 4 of the 5 things that I ordered are shipped, and they are 2 Goosebumps books, South Park Season 22, and a Pop Fidget that I really want. I watched the Daily Bumps Christmas special. They got almost everything they want. As it said, poor Oliver's broken his leg, but he did get an iPad. So, he got something to keep him busy while he's going on that whole journey with his leg being broke. I watched some CNC Life. As I said, I enjoyed it. I'm trying to remember about it. Just some things about Jackson sort of tried to walk a little bit. That was actually kind of cool. I enjoyed some taters from Superstore. I always love the taters there. I mean, I got tenders too, and I enjoyed them, but I think I enjoyed the taters more today. I enjoyed some, what is it, Napoleon ice cream or Neapolitan ice cream? Neapolitan, I think. It's the kind with chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. Like, I always love that ice cream now. Like, even though it's not soft serve, I think that's one of my favorite ice cream that isn't soft served. Anything soft served that I can eat without the worry of my allergies is my favorite. But same thing with any ice cream, like the Napolitan or I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it. But it's the Chapman's kind, and usually that is safe for me to eat if it says the nut-free label on it. I read some Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I'm really feeling I am getting a hang of reading more at once. Like, it's easier for me to process than it was before. So, but I'm enjoying it. I'm still in the early stages of the book, but I'm enjoying it so far. I did some of my super word search. Like, I'm starting to really get into word searches. Like, I don't know, it's just, I can kind of do it to the point now where sometimes I don't even have to really look. It just kind of, pops up for me. I did some editing for the Positive Vibes number 2. Yeah, by the time you see this, it won't be an issue. It would have been long out, but as I said, it's taken longer than I thought. Like, you have to edit all the clips together as I am talking, and I think I'm finally learning some things with editing. Hopefully I will continue to learn about editing. I played some Pokemon Red. I'm getting further. I'm catching Pokemon, and I think I was about Mountain Moon. I'm trying to train my team up a bit before I move on to Cerulean City. Yeah, you understand why Misty, it goes a big jump, I feel, with difficulty between Misty and Brock. And then afterwards, for the next, 2 or so gyms, it makes zippity-doo-dah. I mean, for me anyway, right? I mean, Sabrina's, again, is the only other real challenge that I tend to have. But I'll cross that bridge when it comes. Well, guys, I will see you in the next clip. Hey guys, it is Saturday, January 8th, 2022, and here are my positives for the day. I read Pokemon The Dawn of Arcania Chapter 2, Family Reunion. This is the third, as I said, in the trilogy that the N-Man64 wrote, and it's a really good start. I'm not going to get much into it, because someday I will do a video on that part of the series after I work with Pokemon Crimson Fury again, finally. We won't go into the negative of that. I've tried my best to get back into the mood to do YouTube more. I've been doing pretty decent with the Positive Vibes videos, but I'm just trying to get into my other stuff again. And someday I will get on a good beat about that. I enjoyed the large ice cap. It was like, as I teased, like date night for me. At that time I waited about a week, which again for me is amazing. I watched 10 horror movie characters punished for not believing, and 8 unintentionally hilarious horror movie endings from What Culture Horror. Now, before I get into anything, and I'm not going to get into it in a ranty way, What Culture I always found was far better than Watch Mojo, even though, yes, I do still watch Mojo. I'm not going any further on that. We'll just say if I want something just to listen to in the background, that's what I do, like Watch Mojo. But if I want to seriously concentrate and enjoy something in the commentary, I watch anything other than that. I mean, okay, yes, I'm sure there are worse channels than Watch Mojo, but as I said, when you want something like background noise, it does its job, right? I don't really focus on it or anything so much. I watched What Happened to Queen Anne's Children. That was a fascinating watch for me. I guess Queen Anne had over 17 pregnancies and only had like 3 or 4 to live past birth. And even then, they all died in early childhood. It was literally a fascinating watch. Like, they were talking whether there was like some disorder running in Queen Anne's family. I actually paid attention to it. Haley or Jazz focusing on something that is historically, like fiction, non-fiction, or was it fiction? No, non-fiction. I mean, which means real. When Jazz does that, the narrator, presentator, whatever, must be decent. I played Pokemon Red. I'm still getting further. I think I am in Cerulean City by now. As I said, like, I did so much today, it's hard to remember, but again, I'm doing pretty well playing it. I finished editing and uploading Positive Vibes 2. Now, do I have any regrets so far? Maybe the thumbnail, but I'm not getting into it. Well, not fully getting into it. I will say, unintentionally, it may have been a bit distasteful. Wasn't my intention. We'll just put it this way. I love Betty White. It was tragic about her passing just before her 100th birthday. But I will admit that maybe it was a little soon. I didn't mean. The only reason I think it was I find it was distasteful from someone else's point of view is that I put it in a video called Positive Vibes. And now, this was not positive at all. It's because I watched a video based on that, of her life achievements. So don't get me wrong, I'm not happy about Betty's passing. In fact, it's really sad. Just straighten it out for those who may have misinterpreted it. I felt she deserved the spotlight of that video. She was a marvelous actress and a person. I found out no work until at least January 18th. Look, who doesn't get happy when they get more time off? To me, that was good news. Now, guys, again, I do love the place I work. They are so accommodating to me. They let me do the job I love, which is the job I love, which is YouTube. But all in all, I'm most comfortable in my own home. So any extra time I get to spend here is great, right? But I mean, am I looking forward to going back? Yeah, at some point, right? And we'll just have to see from today how that's going to go. I actually did some stuff in my scheduling book today. I'm trying to sort things out, and I made a plan, I believe, for if my stomach problem persists, right? It's bad. Oh, I'm excited about that. I might go into this right now and just to refresh what I did again, my memory. That's why I've been writing in this journal, because my memory is as bad as anything. Like, I made an IBS glands flare up for, like, at home when I'm at work, in a way, I might read the at-work plan because I don't want to get into a lot of the at-home, most of the at-home plan, and I had a plan, like, you know, to stop what I'm doing and breathe. Like, I sometimes stare into space, which does help me a lot, like, just stop doing anything. And then I let my work staff, employees know that, like, I might need to do something quiet that isn't, like, YouTube editing, like, watching a video or reading, like, just something that isn't using my mind and making it go off in a way. And, for example, if, like, I don't feel better after doing that for a while, then I would just tell the staff to go to the bathroom and let them know, like, I would be a while. Like, I would bring, like, a fidget or a book to stare at, and if after an hour, I would just go home. Because after that, if it's been more than an hour, I know you could argue while you've been there for a good chunk of the time you would be there, but if I can't stay the last hour and a half, like, if everything else I did, and I still felt that way, what would be the point? Like, I did everything that I could. And for me, I will read most of my home plan, except for 1 or 2 steps. I would stop what I was doing. I would realize that it's no big deal that I'm stopping. Like, I would relax, and I would have to, like, breathe. I would stare into space for a bit, but if that didn't work, I would go to the washroom with no time limit. Unlike at work, I know that way I don't have to rush. I would take my buspan, but I could take that, like, up to 6 times every hour. I would do an activity while pain is subsiding, like I'd be reading, doing journals or a word search. And if after all that it didn't help me, I would go to sleep. I would lay down. Because just like with work, if I try everything that I can do and it's not helping, but the only thing that helps me is sleep, then I would do it. I'm also writing things that I would like to buy, really like to buy, and I would mark them off as, you know, I get it done. And I read over 20 pages of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I feel that I'm doing very well with that. I'm actually starting to enjoy reading, as I've said. Like, what you gotta understand is that I was never diagnosed with it, but I'm pretty sure I have a information processing problem. Or at the very least, ADHD-like tendencies. Or both. Probably both, with my luck. So, reading and processing and remembering was always difficult for me. So being able to set aside a time and read at least 20 pages now each night, or 10 to 20 pages each night, it's amazing. Hey guys, it is Sunday, January 9th, 2022, and today with my positives, it isn't a huge amount, which you could be, oh, that's sad, woohoo, we won't hear her voice as long. One of the two, I am sure, but I made some schedules on my laptop. Now, I still have my journal, and I'm going to be using that like crazy, but I figured I'm on the computer all the time, that maybe that would help me a bit. It was a fun schedule. I could add pictures, sort of. I was doing it on my, sticky notes. Which, yes, you'll say, well, how is that a good schedule maker? Well, not the way you would think, because it doesn't have all these little boxes and all that, but sometimes less is simpler. Like, I have a schedule, I have them on my laptop in the sticky note form, which is good and bad, but it was fun, making different notes, for YouTube and games, and, I made mini goals on some of my games, well, I'll just, since it's going to be less of a clip, I am going to show ya a little bit here. See what I mean? I have, like, things that I have to do for YouTube, which eventually I'll get to. I got some shows that I'm watching: Rugrats, The Simpsons, and The Golden Girls. I never put the limit for The Golden Girls yet, but for the Rugrats I want to try to watch up to season 4 before taking a break. The Simpsons up to, like, I have to watch seasons 3, 6, 7, and 9 before a break. And list of movies that I want to try to watch right now. Here we are. I have one for 3 games that I decided to really focus on. It's Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Olive Town, Digimon World Cyber Sleuth, and Pokemon Red. Because those 3 I'd be the most interested in right now. And I have little goals here. So for Story of Seasons, it is to get to summer of year 2 before taking a break. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth is to get to Chapter 7, Demon Pilgrimage, Kappa Seal, before taking a break. And for Pokemon Red, it is to get to the 7th gym badge before taking a break. Now you could argue with the Pokemon Red that I should just defeat the Elite Four if I'm going to do just to the 7th badge, and maybe you're right. Maybe I might lower the goal a little bit, maybe to the 5th gym, maybe. I don't know, I'm just figuring it all out, what I can do, and there's no real game. What is it? There's no real finish game for the Story of Seasons, so I thought I would play it belong to the summer of year 2. I mean, that's manageable, I would think. I enjoyed some Cheez-Its and Lay's. We got them from the grocery store. Not getting into anything about that. Right, but I got Cheez-Its and Lay's, so they were good. Enjoyed a chicken TV dinner. It was Swanson, and it had chicken, potatoes, and corn, but I also added green beans to it on my own accord. I will say green beans is some of my favorite vegetables of all time. I don't know why, but maybe it's because when the butter soaks it, it tastes so good. And I don't care if they're canned or they're fresh. Maybe I think I made, like, canned better, though, surprisingly. Maybe the way they soaked for a while. And I actually did get to summer first on Story of Seasons, Pioneer of Olive Town. Wow. Yeah, I have to do another game here of that. But, well, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how far that I can get and what progress that I can make in that game. And I actually watched some of the Golden Girls. About 2 or so episodes of it on Disney Plus. I'm finally making use of that Disney Plus account. It's just, Golden Girls is just so funny. You could argue I'm a little too young to fully appreciate Golden Girls. I mean, when I say too young, I know I'm 30, but I'm in that young demographic where, like, it ended the year I was born, right? And I was a baby then. So, and that show is meant for, like, the older crowd even then. So, I mean, maybe in the actual age, I'm about the right age for it, but the time period, I'm a little old. But having to be able to watch it on Disney Plus is amazing. Like, the humor is great. I'm at a point I understand most of the humor. Some of it still goes over my head, but my favorite character is Sophia. She had this stroke which causes her to lose her social propriety, which means she doesn't quite understand appropriateness, which she just says what comes in her head, which can be so funny. Now, in all seriousness, guys, I know if something like that happens to your loved one, it isn't meant to be funny. And if I were to see someone in real life do that, I would not laugh at them. Not right at their face, right? Like, I understand that that can be a serious issue too. But it is also something a lot of people laughed at in the show. And in the show, Sophia isn't affected to the point where she can't take care of herself to a degree. She's functional in a lot of ways, more than most people her age. It's just that the stroke only took just enough to make her kind of socially inappropriate in situations. And again, in real life, I understand that this, no matter how minor a stroke is, it is a serious thing, and I wouldn't be laughing at the stroke itself, but just the humor Sophia had, and her non-filter. And she's just lovely. For being so inappropriate, she's just the best person, right? And the actor is even better. Maybe not so socially inappropriate, but a better person, right? And I like the other characters okay. Like, I would say my second favorite is Rose, and third is Blanche. Yes, Dorothy is my least favorite. And she has her good moments too, right? Her humorous moments, which I find funny. But to me, it's more mean-spirited with her. I mean, legitimately mean-spirited. With Sophia, well, I don't think she'd mean everything she said. It just comes to her mind. Like, let's say I don't care for the way that Dorothy handles Rose. Then again, Rose has her moments. They say she isn't stupid, but naive. Sometimes it's hard to tell, but I mean, like, she'll put Rose down in the worst possible way sometimes, but then again, she is also there for her too. But I still just say everyone else, like, very rarely is anyone else truly mean-spirited, and even Dorothy, I guess, isn't always mean-spirited. It's just she kind of had enough of the nonsense. She's the straight one. Yes, that's the best way to say it. She's the straight one of the four, and sometimes I like humor more than the straight person in a situation, because, I mean, of course, imagine if, how do I put it? Imagine, and this might be an inappropriate thing to say, and I would never try to say anyone do this in a situation, but imagine you were at a funeral, right, and you were already really sad, as it is, heartbroken, and someone made a joke, not mean-spirited, or asked something, right, and then just a straight-laced person without saying, that's inappropriate.
Sorry guys, this is a post-editing jazz for the positive vibes, 3, and guys, this is just a little clip within the January 9th video. It cut off. When I was editing my footage, I realized it cut off at a really good point where I couldn't just edit it out, because I was making a point here, and I know you might have said, oh, we don't mind, but I'll just go on and say what my point was. I was saying that Dorothy was I'd find a little too mean-spirited or too straight in a situation, and how I was saying that if someone was at a funeral, and again, death isn't funny. That's not what I mean by that. But if someone was saying a joke that lightened the mood and everyone else thought it was funny, even some of the loved ones of the deceased, and someone just said, hey, that's not an appropriate time to, do that. Well, first, they should see how everyone else is reacting. I mean, maybe if it's one of the other loved ones who didn't find it funny, maybe it'd be a little more slack, I'd give it a little more slack. But it's just, if a majority of the people find it funny and you're not being intentionally inappropriate, right? They should let it go. We'll just put it this way. I got a story that I'm going to tell you that was also in the other one too. How it cut off that far, I don't know. But years ago, my mother passed. It was just at the beginning of my 12th grade year. And it was on a vacation. And my close friend at the time, who has classic autism, not severe classic autism, he could function pretty well compared to some individuals. He was verbal, he could communicate, not in that way. But with my friend, sometimes they need to say things to try to wrap their head around it, and two, that's their way to try to sympathize with a person or relate to a person. So he was like to me, Haley, your mom died, didn't she? And it did not bother me whatsoever. Keep this in mind, it did not bother me whatsoever. But one of the teacher's aides was like to him, okay, it is a him, or to Bart, I used to use that name, hey, that is not appropriate to say, that's not nice, you'll make her feel really bad. And okay, maybe that can be true, some people just don't like to be reminded, but I was fine with it. I don't know if she noticed on my face I didn't have any particular hurt or sad reaction, but it's just, okay, I know maybe she was trying to teach him that, because it isn't always okay, but I think maybe I would have felt better if she had gone to me first and say, Haley, is he bothering you? Instead of going right out and scalding him. And then she could hear the way I felt about it. Like, I just found that she kind of made everything worse, the way it was handled. Now, I'm just using this as an example, because sometimes, even though they're often right, being the straight-laced person can kind of hurt other people, even though they're not intentionally trying to do so. But anyway, guys, I will see you in the next clip.
Hey guys, it is Monday, January 10th, 2022, and today, my South Park Season 22, Monster Blood, Let's Get Invisible, and my Pop Fidget came in the mail. And when I say that, I meant the Monster Blood and Let's Get Invisible books. Like, I wanted to add to my collection. I never read Let's Get Invisible. I had read Monster Blood through other sources. So, since I knew I was ordering Let's Get Invisible, I decided just to wait reading it through other sources. But I'm looking forward to eventually reading that. I read Pokemon The Dawn of Arcadia, Chapter 3, the final stage, and I really enjoyed it. Again, I'm not going to try to spoil too much of this for you, because eventually, could be 10 years from now, I'll get to that chapter on my channel. Again, I have a good sense of humor of my timing of things. I recorded an unboxing of the stuff that I did. Someday it'll be out. Just sorting out everything and when I'm going to actually upload things to. Now I'm on page 81 of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I'm enjoying this book. Like, it's still the start. Harry hasn't gotten to the school yet. But I'm really getting into reading it a little bit at a time. I'm really getting into these characters. Making a limit each night to reading has helped me greatly. I mean, I'm almost on page 100. Yes, I'm over 700, but hey, I'm making a mini goal to 100, or a little bit past, and then reading a smaller book to break it up. Right? So, I'm so close to that goal that it's within my grasp of a day or so of reading. So, pretty much today, that was it. Like, nothing else to me really different popped up in a way. So I'm trying to make these videos now more variety, but at the same time I do write things that to me that are positive, because sometimes in a dark day, even the smallest thing of like what you ate or something will make your day. And maybe from now on I won't include everything on the list. I'll just write things positive, to have a positive journal. But if anything is new and exciting, for sure I will tell you. And I'll see you guys in the next clip. Hey guys, it is Tuesday, January 11th, 2022, and a lot happened today that I was excited about. To start with, I pre-ordered Pokemon Legends Arceus, or Arceus. Tomato, tomato. I'm looking forward to playing it on the 28th. It's so big though, 13 gigabytes. But I have to delete some stuff in order to play it. I mean, I have enough space on my new Switch to play it, but I want to download it on my old Switch too to be able to trade. I was smart and got a digital version. I was smart to a degree and got a digital version so I can have multiple files on my old Switch, and so I could trade between the different accounts. Like, I know that I'm planning to use my original account that I bought it on my new Switch and use that file on there, and I'm going to choose one of the other 4 or 5 files or you know, accounts I have to do a file to trade with. But there's going to be 2 clans, so maybe I'll also play differently with each file. But I'm looking forward to it. Like, it's a lot of money, and I appreciate my aunt allowing me to still get it. And having it pre-ordered and having it be able to play it on both game systems is amazing. I should have done that with the other games. I got a medium ice cap. Nothing really new. We did go out and I got it when we were out. But I also got some Burger King 8-piece nuggets, fries, and an ice cream cone. As I said, we had coupons and I had $1, so I enjoyed myself actually going out. I watched about 8 episodes of The Golden Girls. Yeah, I was that addicted to it today. It was one of the things that brightened my day today of anything. And I am now on summer, was it 19th? Or 14th or 13th, but anyway, Story of Seasons Pioneers of Olive Town. I'm getting further into the game. I'm slowly, you know, building up my crops and my animals, and I'm making myself goals, which I still need to continue to do. It is the more, one thing I've learned is the further you get, sometimes the harder it gets to plan your day in the game. When you first start, you only have so much to work with. But now that I have upgraded tools, some things are made easier, but some things aren't. So I'm just taking it as it comes. Like, I have 3 different games, as I said, I'm working through. After a while, I might take a little break and then go to one of my other games, maybe. I'm not really sure. But, I mean, as I said, it may not have seemed like a lot, but to me, it was a lot positive that happened in my day. I did something besides just watch YouTube. I went out. I actually watched Disney Plus with the Golden Girls, and some of the episodes are just, again, amazing. So anyway, guys, I will see you in the next clip. Hey guys, it is Wednesday, January 12th, 2022, and quite a bit actually did happen today compared to the other couple of days. I enjoyed 2 pepperoni sandwiches, which were, for me, buns rather than bread, like hamburger buns, and I had pepperoni and cheese on them. Like, I really love pepperoni, and I love cheese as well, even though it's not the healthiest for me. I got to autumn first on Story of Seasons Pioneers of Olive Town. Now, I'm getting to a point where I can give you some more information of what I did. I'm at a point now where pretty much all of my tools are gold. Not higher, are gold. The main tools that I use, which are the fishing rod, the hammer, the hoe, the axe, the bucket. I think that is it. But the main ones that I use. Yes, I know, like, why do you keep fishing? There's really no point in fishing, and yes and no. 1, you can donate to the museum. 2, some people really like fish as gifts. I mean, like them. I mean, that's my biggest gift I was giving people. 3, they can be a good source of food. You know, when you're cooking when you have your house upgraded once, which I actually have it upgraded twice now, you can make meals and upgrade your cooking ability to make meals to go mining. So it could be a plenty resource, and they're far better than the game in Stardew Valley. That's for sure. I'm finally dating someone, and I forget his name. I'll add it in editing, I'm sure, but he is not the samurai, he's the prince, the guy who is called Master by Dokuchu. I remember the guy's name. The one with the blue hair and the kimono. Yes, that guy. I had a choice between him and Lori was his name, or Iori or Lori, but I also I was dating another guy, the fisherman family's son. Again, I'll have to put the name there. I was trying to woo one or the other of them. They were both at 6 hearts. Then I was just deciding to make the decision, and I decided on Iori/Lori, again, whatever I can remember, in a way. And I only did that because he's like, well, now I'll be protecting you and you'll be stuck with me in a bike. Okay, the choice is so obvious now. But I liked the other guy too, but I'm like, yeah, I'm sticking with that guy. I mean, he's sticking with me. Then again, the other guy invited us to be a part of that you're practically part of the family, so hard to decide. I mean, I know there were other choices too, but those two seemed to naturally connect with anyway, with giving them gifts. So I decided it was one or the other. I got 10-star gold crops now for a decent chunk of my crops. I've upgraded the farming fields to their max. I pretty much got the max hearts that I can get from the spirit by buying them. So I'm doing very, very well for the first, being in the third month of the first year. The only thing I'm having trouble with, and I had in my other file too, is opening that greenhouse, plantation, whatever it was. That will always be a hard thing. And I have to do this pretty much on gold tools, because I need the oricum for the greenhouse. You need 50 bars, not actual ore, and it takes 5 to 10 ore for that, per bar. I need 50 of them. The same thing with the axe. I need 50 Mirage lumber, which is really hard when you only got 2 trees in the last area of your farm, and then until you upgrade to the 10th level, I think, of your skill, then you get an area where there's only a small chance you'll find Mirage trees. Same thing with it's a little easier to get the ore than it is with the lumber, but that is only if you get very far in the last mine. So it's easier just to unlock the area to mine, for them. At least once I get higher skill, I get more ore per bunch, or wood. It's, I know, gone quite far, but I've gotten really far in the game, and really, if I didn't want to include the plantation, I pretty much got I'm never married yet, but once I'm married and I have a child, I've pretty much beaten the main story of the game. Actually, there is an end to it then, jeez. But besides the point, I watched The Golden Girls. About 3 or 4 more episodes, I believe, so I'm near episode 17 to 19, I think, at this point. I enjoyed Neapolitan ice cream. Again, I explained last time why I love it so much. I actually watched some SNL sketches on YouTube. Yeah, you're thinking, what? Well, I enjoy some sketches there from SNL. There were some decent ones there, if I can remember some of them. One of them was about 2 employees getting fired from McDonald's. I think it's a theme in SNL, this series. But it was hilarious how they thought they were getting fired, so they kept insulting everyone in the workplace, only to find out, oh, they're not getting fired yet. So now they still didn't get fired. Or maybe they did. I don't know. I found a working charger for my iPhone and iPod Touch. I've been having trouble with my iPhone again and the iPod Touch with charging. So one of my old chargers start to work again. Maybe it's just because it's connected more and it stays connected to the iPhone. I don't know. But before I would plug it in and it would turn on and off and not be compatible. So now at least I have something working for it, which I use my phone as my alarms, which trust me guys, that is, for me it's a mini blessing. And I read to page 112 of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I'm at my goal, so now I can read another book. Like, I'm at the point now where he's about to go to the ministry for his trial for using magic under the age when defending Dudley. Honestly, that is so stupid that he was even charged, like, with their own rules that in the instance of danger to protect yourself, they are allowed to. But somehow, maybe it's because he had used magic before. I think that he did use magic before at one point when he accidentally blew up his aunt, which that was unintentional. It happened out of the blue when he got angry, but he still used magic, even though it wasn't with his wand. Somehow. But apparently before that did not count with Minister Fudge, yet now they're throwing it in his face. Probably because they want to make him look bad, and because of him having Lord Voldemort. I know, I said the name. I'm not ashamed, not afraid to use the name Voldemort. That they want to make him look nuts and they don't want people to believe he's back, so maybe they're using that as an excuse to further ruin Harry Potter. That is more than likely it, but you're probably thinking, why don't you get to do just reading it right now? Like, I want to read something a little bit different and then move on and read another 100 or so pages and then move to another book. I'm kind of using it as a bookmark press in a way to kind of break it up. That way, it's a little easier for me to read, that I know I have something else to look forward to after 100 pages. And eventually, it'll be easier for me to read, and then I'll make it 200 pages. I don't know. But anyway, guys, I will see you in the next day.
Hey guys, it is Thursday, January 13th, and, well, it's the night, but I have everything written down, so guys, this might be a thing, just letting you know. Not the fact I'm recording with my webcam, but that I'll be using this each day when I record it. I'll have it written down so I can remember, just in case that I do. But I watched The Intimate Portraits of Estelle Getty and Betty White. Now, I love these type of shows where they talk like they have friends and family and they talk about their whole lives. They get really, I said it's called Intimate Portrait. And like, for example, Betty White, like Estelle Getty, what I meant. She spent almost her whole life balancing family, going and auditioning for plays, and for most of her life she wasn't as known until she starred in the Torch-On trilogy, and then she became bigger on Broadway. And then within a few years after that, she was auditioned for the Golden Girls, and she became little old Sophia, and they had to really put makeup or powder and makeup on her to make her look like an old lady, because she was 62 years old when she played an 81-year-old. So they completely transformed her. And it is the fact that she was literally younger than her on-screen daughter in real life, B. Arthur. It is amazing. Like, she was able to play someone older than you know, it's... And Betty White, well, again, I learned she never had any biological children, but she met the love of her life with her husband Alan, and kind of adopted his, was it 2 or 3 children, and she was a big animal lover. Like, they were her babies, pretty much. And as I said, we still lost a national treasure with her, but she lived a good long life and a happy life. So That's the best way to look at it. Down to Tim Hortons, it's got a medium ice cap. When the weather is nice, and when I mean by that, I mean when it's not so slippery out, I love to walk down to Tim Hortons now. I used to not be a walker at all. And I still don't like to walk on the best of days. But going down to Tim Hortons is the one route that I will go humming, walking down. Right? Where I used to not be able to do it, I could do it almost easy when the roads are clear. Right? It almost feels like I transport it there at this point. Like, I don't get tired. Like, it's got it easy, like, both ways. It's sort of easy, and I technically get a reward for it. So that helps a little bit, and I enjoy going into Tim Hortons and making my order and actually being around and having to socialize. When I say socialize, I mean like to order, you know, and if people talk to me, I'll answer back, right? So I'm becoming more social that way too, in a way, and more independent. So I really love when I do that. I played some Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Well, how am I doing with that? I confess on most days I still kind of get addicted to Story of Seasons. But you know what? I'm keeping myself awake doing that and being happy. But when I get in the mood for it, playing Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, I get quite into it too. I just gotta get my mind into doing it, in a way, if you sort of get what I mean. But I'm at a point now where I think I'm on chapter 2, going on, I don't think I'm quite on 3 yet, but I got to the point where I'm getting some champions, in a way. So, that is great. I watched Ellie and Jackson's 8th birthday special. Now, again, I don't watch Ellie and Jarrett like I used to. And even I would take back, like when I did the top YouTubers on my channel, I wouldn't necessarily include them or the daily bumps so much anymore. But once in a while, you feel nostalgic for them, right? The kids, and wondering how the kids are going. Like, I had watched since Jackson was born, which was 2014. So him being 8 now, so close to a decade, and that's 3 years away from a teenager. He's like 5 years away from being a teenager. And I don't know where it's going to be, where I'm going to be in 5 years, like, or where they're going to be in 5 years. But sometimes I like to see them as they grow up. Watch a couple of the special ones, like the birthday or the Christmas specials. Like, maybe the reason I like that is because they gotta go on and show happiness, and I like to, feel the happiness in a way, if you get what I mean. I kind of could absorb it, and I'm not taking it from them, but you know what I mean. When you're having a down day, sometimes to see someone else happy, well, you're happy for them, it'll make you a little bit happy too. Found out I don't have to go to work for another 2 or 3 weeks. Technically, they're doing 2 phases, I believe. They're doing phase 1, which started... phase 1, which I think is starting Monday for phase 1. And phase 2, they said will start 2 or 3 weeks. I chose phase 2. I know you could argue that perhaps I should have just went. I should just go phase 1, knowing me, but you know what? Either way, I'm going to have a little anxiety with being off for so long. Might as well give me more time to absorb, okay, what's going on. In a way, I know it'll happen eventually, so I'd rather just take the later time. Because either way, I'm going to have a little trouble at first, after being off. I was off long anyway. Might as well add a couple more weeks to it. And once I'm able, hopefully I'll be off long enough to play Pokemon Legends Arceus for a day or 2. That way, my anxiety of the game will be out of the way too. So, when I get when I get excited about something, like if a game's coming out or whatnot, the anxiety adds to everything. So, knowing that I might have a chance to at least play my game for an hour or 2 before and get it right will help with the transitioning for me a little bit. And I talked to my aunt's sister-in-law and her son. Not bringing up any names for them, but they came down for a visit for a little while, and I do like to socialize with them, right? So I sat down for 40 minutes to an hour and talked to them, and any time that I socialize and enjoy it is a good experience for me. Like, I kind of like to remember that in a way. Now, I do have the names in here, but again, keeping their names out of it for now, and someday I'll ask if it's okay if I mention them, and I'm sure they have no problem with it. But I just would rather, like, I know Kathy, my Aunt Kathy, doesn't particularly bother her, right? She's even, I think, appeared once or twice in the video. It doesn't really bother her that I mention her name. But it's Kathy's sister-in-law and nephew. So, anyway, guys, this is also the end of this week's Positive Vibes. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel and like what you see, please subscribe and help this channel a lot. And don't forget to hit the bell notification so you'll know when new videos are coming out. And I'll see you guys in my next video.